Hello darling, I'm Nancy. Welcome to Shamanic Heartspace. You are very, very welcome here. Today I'm going to be talking about the Aquarius super full moon happening 1st to 2nd of August 2023. I really hope that you find it helpful. I better tell you, I'm not an astrologer. This is going to be a channeled message about the energies in and around this time, so that hopefully you can have a smooth run and be as conscious as possible about whatever lay ahead for you on your path. So please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And if you like it, please consider following and subscribing. Sending you loads of love. See you on the other side. Okay, so take a few moments to take some deep breaths, ground in wherever you are, whatever you're doing. You can always take a couple of deep breaths. Just to signal to your body everything's okay. You can just receive the messages right now. Might be a good idea to grab some kind of note-taking equipment, whether that be on your phone or actual notepad and pen, because the info is channeled, so I don't know when questions are going to come out to help you, to guide you at this time. So while I'm just connecting, I want to let you know this is a super moon. And that means that the moon is closer to the earth than usual. And so this affects the tides, tectonic plates, and us, our emotions. And this can help us to shake out some things that we need to look at. Also helps us to see into our depths, into our hidden realms, illuminating what's really going on. For me, I feel quite physically heavy and tired. I could sleep forever and a day at the moment, so you might be feeling like that too. Lots of aches and pains, especially in the legs. All signs to slow down and stop. So maybe you're feeling some of that too. What are your tells that it's a super moon? Let me know on Instagram on my Aquarius moon post. I'd love to know. Alright, so the first message I'm getting is that this is a great time to go within, to really dive in and pull out the stuff that's hiding in your corners, in your shadows. If you're new here, yawning is a side effect of me channeling. So you may hear me yawning. Alright, so we're in the midst of a huge upgrade, and you know, like, they're showing me computer or phone, like getting a new program update. That's you right now. That's all of us right now. We have to wait while the upgrade's taking place, don't we, on our electronics? So using this time to, there's no other way to say it really, but to determine your character. So what's meant by that is, are you a victim or a co-creator? Are you in fear or are you in love? Are external events or people, or situations ruling your life, or are you coming from your own heart, your own inner compass? Essentially, what are you choosing? So this is a time to really stop blaming outside, to stop kidding yourself. This is quite a unique opportunity, actually, what I'm seeing here, to expand, evolve, raise consciousness and step into power. Time to say enough is enough in some situations. So with all these kind of changes and endings and new beginnings going on and emotions running high, the advice would be control your emotional responses. Life is going to carry on out there, and you can be in victim mode and overreactive mode, and all this is happening to me and it's not fair. Or you can use it to step up, to rise higher and be bigger and better in your connection to yourself and God, Source, the higher power, which is a much more liberating place to be. So again, coming back to the showing me someone with a voting ballot. And the thing is here, you are choosing. Everything is your choice. Choose your own adventure. So your life is the sum of your choices, and if anything needs to shift, now is a great time to do it. There's a really great support available for that. I'm seeing a really bright light now. So much light. I'm just trying to determine what needs the light shone on it, what needs to be brought to light, what is hidden within you. So this is activating something from deep within, a deep understanding about something that's been hidden, a truth coming up, a gift coming online, having more of your DNA activated, all of that kind of stuff. Things coming into the light, and a coming together of pieces. So maybe you're seeing the bigger picture now that you couldn't see. Like, oh, ta-da! Gaining a deeper understanding of who you are and your part in all of this, in all of the world around. So with this is a requirement for self-awareness. And what do you need and what do you want? Okay, so I've got a couple of questions here. How's your confidence level? And where is your energy being spent? And is there a connection between those two things? So, yeah, maybe wasting energy and things that are not serving you, and you could be putting it back into yourself and your own development and expansion. I don't know. Okay, so for some people, something coming along that will help you to move forward. Maybe you're already aware of your next vision and what you want. Maybe seeing what you don't want to, the energy of stepping into your future. It feels quite initiatory, actually. Initiation energy, where you're just saying, right, that's not going to do for me anymore. And a greater awareness around seeing what you are creating and your purpose in the world. So maybe even looking back at what you have created and seeing what's worked, what hasn't, and using that to move forward with a new something. That's what I'm seeing now. Seeing the yellow brick road. Okay, so yeah, I'm sure I've said this a billion times before on this podcast, but what lights you up and how can you share that with the world? All right, also an opportunity for better communication coming up. Looks like just after the moon is at her fullest. Being able to find the words to share or to explain what is in your heart. But the message is not yet. Gather what you want to say and maybe try journaling it first. Just to kind of, I don't know actually, But the message again is coming back to not being reactive. So just take your time over any kind of responses, sharing what's going on for you. And maybe just a real awareness around something you're done with, you're tired of fighting back and forth, up and down. It's cycles. It's time to really close up cycles, break chains. Okay, so they want me to remind you there's a light side and a shadow side to everyone and everything. So that's where, you know, you might want to be shining and let others shine and out partying and being very yang energy. Or you might want to go in and shut everything out, maybe even self-medicate. So we have all of this within us. It really depends on where you are on your journey and your process, how you want to process any stage of your journey. There seems to be two very distinct ways this is going to come out for different people. Yeah, as long as you're going within. So there is a head versus heart energy going on that I can see here. It really depends where you are on your journey, though. And in many ways, this is pretty relaxed. It's just kind of like you know what you need to do, or you will know what you need to do next. And there's a kind of acceptance here in the air that life takes care of itself. It's kind of like a feeling of being carried, actually. Just like, oh, this is cool, off we go. So with that, it's time to set a reminder, you know, always focus on the best possible outcome. You really don't need to think so much. You don't need to orchestrate or overplan or overwhelm. Just trust the divine plan. Yeah, and be ready for when the time comes to take action. But a lot of the time, people are overthinking, overplanning, over the top, and it's not really necessary. Because life just takes care of itself. You just got to show up and take action when it's needed. So love is the highest vibrational frequency, so do try to draw on that as much as possible. You've just shown me the words like the Hollywood sign. You might not get what you think you want, but that is because there's something better coming for you. So expand your vision. There is more, there is better. Oh, interesting. Okay, so letting the scales drop from your eyes and you dropping into your heart. So there could be some uncomfortable revisiting, remembering, reviewing, reminiscing going on, because cycles are closing out. And so, yeah, it really depends on how you frame it. Maybe most helpful to think of this time as a review, especially if you're finding it tough right now. To know what you want and what you don't want is a good start, you know. If you don't have all the answers yet, good. You're on an adventure. And working out how to choose yourself every time, so that you're not bleeding your energy to anybody else. And also to know where you don't want to go back to. It's quite significant, quite important. Alright, so we're looking here at pulling all of your pieces back into alignment. And as I said before, you might do this by going more inward or actually going outward. And it's important to know your definition of what sacred space is. This is important now. This is important. There's so many old ways marrying new ways, new ideas coming forward, popping up, and you know, nobody needs to follow the crowd anymore. So your definition of sacred space is important, and making that available for you whenever you should need it or want it. So there's something to me about soul retrieval. So this is about bringing your wholeness home to yourself. If you need to learn from the younger you can visit them, get into a meditative state, go back, send them love, send them compassion, and send yourself some love and compassion. You know, thank you for showing up here and listening to this little podcast. It gives me a purpose, and I hope that you find it helpful. But, you know, show yourself some credit. You've really learned a lot. Even if you feel like you're kind of new to the journey, the awakening, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. Maybe write yourself a little note on your mirror in lipstick or pencil, or I don't know, erasable pen. What are they showing me here? Writing on the mirror. It says you did the best with what you had at the time. So you could write that on your own mirror. I like that, in the bathroom. I did the best with what I had at the time. And perhaps now, in the more neutral present moment, you can see a new way, something opening up for you. So yeah, that might mean some change. And it might be helpful to look back at where you were and what you were doing 8 years ago, actually. Where were you 8 years ago? What was going on? Is there anything that needs to be cleaned or healed from that time? My friend Nina Yiflo is doing a Venus retrograde course online for 7 weeks, which is all about this, because I'm not an astrologer, but she is. And yeah, Venus is in retrograde, giving us an awful lot to look at, starting with where were you 8 years ago. So check out the show notes for details if that speaks to you. See, you might be able to jump on her course. Okay. So looking at your own self-control, your own boundaries are also important. Being okay with possibilities, with not knowing things, and also that you can't control others. Everybody's on their own path. It's very important to just show up as you right now, not as you expect others to expect you. You just got to be you. Remember, you don't need anybody else's validation, just your own. And it's absolutely exhausting wearing a mask. Maybe even pretending all the time, if that's you. And I've got news for you. You know, not everyone is going to love you. Not everyone's going to like you. You can be the juiciest, most delicious strawberry in the field, but not everybody likes strawberries. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Okay, some questions coming through. And how do you want to show up in the world? What makes you light up and feel good? This is where your work is. And now is a great time to start thinking about how you might want to commit to that. And if there's anyone or anything that's casting a shadow on your light and zapping your energy, just putting that down for a while you recover and recuperate. That's leading us into the realms of happiness. So I said it before, I'll say it again. Your happiness is your responsibility. And that person over there, their happiness is their responsibility. So not everyone's going to be able to mix with each other 100% of the time. So you can always send love from a distance. Send love and stand back. And like, not interfering too much with someone else's process. Because like I said, we're all on our own path. I mean, yes, be there for them, but we don't need to carry their baggage. And essentially, we all have to do our own work. And, well, I know how hard that is. And I don't know how hard it is to stand aside and watch people go through a process that's not always easy, not always pretty. Believe me, with my job holding ceremonies, you see that all the time. And you want to swoop in and be the hero. You have empathy, but you can be strong, you can trust them. A shaman told me years ago it's patronizing to rob people of their growth processes by trying to save them. And that really was a game changer for me. So hopefully it's helpful to you in some way. And this goes for you too, you know, if you kind of want to be a hero all the time, or some other capacity, if you're ending up in a repeating cycle, you know, what's really going on there? What are you hiding from? What are you covering up? What's really going on? For some of you, why are you choosing to waste energy on people or things that are really causing you pain? So there's potential here for some really beautiful, deep transformation. This process will take as long as it needs to. And as I said, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If you don't need to go looking for anything that I've said in this podcast for it to be popping out in your life somewhere. If it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply. I only read collectively anyway. And I want to remind you that even if you are having a difficult time, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Even if it doesn't seem like it right now. So yeah, paying attention to your cycles, paying attention to where your energy is going, paying attention to your self-awareness, trying not to be reactive, having some control over your emotional outbursts as well, which absolutely does not mean repressing your emotions or holding on to them, but just not being reactive. How you feel is your problem. Okay. If you've been in a repetitive cycle, time to change that. Jazz up your routine, take a new route to work, try something new. Hello, my darling. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I hope that you found it helpful and that some of your own messages came through. And if you liked the episode, maybe consider sharing it with somebody else too. They might benefit from it. If you like the episode, there's bonus content available as well. Every extra episode contains at least 20 to 30 minutes more of channeled content. On Patreon, there's a tier that includes new and full moon gatherings as well to help you get into alignment and consciously clear anything that's holding you back from your highest good. You can find out how to join up and all that in the show notes. It'd be lovely to see you over there in our little private community. The next full moon will also be in August, and that means that it's going to be a blue moon, which is very cool. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, make sure that you hit follow and get notifications so that you don't miss that episode. And if you want to develop on your shamanic path or work with me one-to-one, clearing trauma, or work with plant medicines, you might want to consider joining my free Telegram group or mailing list. I've got lots of opportunities coming up for us to work together in person and online. So just stay tuned for that. But the best way is to be on the mailing list or the Telegram text list. And once again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you a pleasant full moon for your highest good and the highest good of all. I really appreciate your presence. I really appreciate you allowing me to be beside you on your journey. And thank you to my amazing Patreons who make it possible for me to provide free content. Sending you so much love from my heart to yours. I'm Nancy, and this is Shamanic Heartspace. I look forward to seeing you soon.